Good morning, everyone. This is Jyoti, pupil teacher of science from Dr. Ganesh Das TAV College of Education for Women, Karnal. Why do you feel so hotness or coldness during summer and winter season? Obviously, you will say due to the weather. So, in this chapter, we will study about the weather, climate, and adaptation of animals. First of all, we discuss about the weather. We always think of weathers wherever we may be. It is the first thing we notice when we wake up. If it is so cold, then we wear a sweater. If it is so hot and sunny days, then we wear light cotton clothes. Thus, we can say we wear clothes according to the weather. We may also look weather forecast in a newspaper or on the internet in case when we have to go out for a picnic or for a holiday break. But what is the meaning of the weather? How do you define the weather? This is the definition of the weather. Weather is the state of atmosphere at a particular time and place in terms of temperature, humidity, cloudiness, precipitations, wind, and atmospheric pressure. Means the condition of atmosphere in terms of temperature, humidity, precipitations, wind, and atmospheric pressure on a particular place is known as the weather of that particular place. This is the condition of temperature, humidity, cloudiness, wind, and atmospheric pressure, etc. All are determine the type of weather on a particular place. For example, we can see nowadays there is so low temperature and so there is so cold. Thus, there are a number of the factors that determine the weather of a place. We discuss later about these factors. Next term is the meteorology. What is the meteorology? The science of understanding weather and weather forecasting is known as the meteorology. In other words, we can say it is the branch of science that deal with the study of the weathers. Means change in different element of weathers like temperature, wind, atmosphere pressure, etc. This branch is known as the meteorology. And next term is the meteorologist. What is the meteorologist? These are the scientists who study weather. मीन्स जो पीपल्स इसमें इंगेज होते जो काम करते हैं इस ब्रांच में दैट इज नोन एज द मेट्रियोलॉजिस्ट. दे स्टडी द एलिमेंट ऑफ द वेदर्स में टेम्परेचर लाइक टेम्परेचर विंड एटमोसफियर प्रेशर एंड गिव अस इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द वेदर ऑन a particular place. Then next term is the climate. What is the climate? Average weather in a particular region over a long period of time is known as the climate. For example, nowadays there is a winter season for 3 or 4 months. So this season is known as the climate of this place. Now we discuss the elements of the weather. The first element is the temperature. What is the temperature? The degree of hotness or coldness of the air is known as the temperature. There are the many factors on which temperature is dependent. Like first is the latitude of the place. Latitude of the place पे temperature depend करता है किस वे में करता है तो पहले देखेंगे what is the latitude of the place. Latitude of the place होता क्या है? The distance of a place north or south of the line that we imagine around the middle of the earth, or we can say the distance of a place like north or south from the equator of the earth is known as the latitude of the place. As this distance is increases means as the latitude of the place is increases the temperature will be decreases because as latitude is increases polar region is increases as the polar region is achieved where the sunlight can't directly fall, so there is minimum temperature, and near the equator where the sunlight can directly fall, so the highest temperature is exist. Second is the elevation of the place. What is the elevation of the place? Elevation is the height to which something is elevated. कोई चीज़ कितना elevated है that is known as the elevation, or we can say like it at altitude. हम elevation of the place को altitude की तरह भी ले सकते हैं. As elevation is increases, or we can say altitude is increases, the temperature become decreases. Third point is the season of the place. Obviously the temperature is also dependent on the season of the place. Like if the winter season, temperature will be low. If the summer season, then temperature will be high. And next is the time of the day. Temperature also depends on the time of the day. During the morning time, temperature is low, and during the mid afternoon time, temperature will be highest of the day. Temperature is the highest in the tropical region and lowest in the poles region. There is the same region in tropical region. The rays of the sun can directly fall, so the temperature is the highest. But near the polar region, the sunlight can't directly fall, and so there are the lowest temperature on the polar region. Next element is the humidity. What is the humidity? The measure of amount of water vapor in the atmosphere is called the humidity. Amount of water vapor in the atmosphere at a particular time, particular place, or particular temperature is called humidity. Generally, we find up relative humidity. What is the relative humidity? It is the equal to the amount of water vapor actually present in the atmosphere divided by the atmosphere's maximum water holding capacity. Is called relative humidity. Means जितना एक्चुअल में वाटर होता है किसी उसमें एटमॉस्फेयर में, जितना एक्चुअल में वाटर होता है डिवाइडेड बाय द टोटल वाटर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी ऑफ दैट एटमॉस्फेयर इज नोन एज द रिलेटिव ह्यूमिडिटी. एंड नेक्स्ट फैक्टर इज द cloudiness. Clouds are formed due to evaporation and condensation of water vapors. So before discuss the cloud, we have to discuss the evaporation and condensations. What is the evaporation and condensations? Evaporation is a process of changes of water into vapor or gaseous phase is known as the evaporation. As this vapor or gas rise up, they become clouds, and then temperature is low. Then this vapor phase or gaseous phase change into against water. That is called condensations. So what is the evaporation? The changes of water into gases or vapors is called the evaporation, and condensation, the change of gas or vapors back into the water, is called as the condensations. As the evaporated waters or gas rise up in the sky, then they become clouds, and as the temperature become low, these clouds or gas again change into the waters and come to the earth. This is called condensations. Clouds that almost touch the ground is called fog. What is the fog? Clouds that almost touch the ground is called the fog. As the cloudy days, the temperature will be low. Then next factor is the precipitations. After condensation, the atmosphere water falls on the ground in the form of rain, drizzle, snow, hail, ice splits, or sleet. This is called as the precipitations. After condensation, as we know, water फॉल टू द ग्राउंड किसकी फॉर्म में आता है वो, या रेन्स की फॉर्म में आता है, स्नो की फॉर्म में आता है, हेल्स की, आइस की फॉर्म में आता है. उन सबको बोलते हैं प्रिसिपिटेशंस. तो जैसे ही प्रिसिपिटेशंस होता है, जो टेम्परेचर होता है वो कम हो जाता है. टेम्परेचर कम हो जाता है तो उस प्लेस का वेदर थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट होगा. मीन्स प्रिसिपिटेशंस के ड्यूरिंग भी वेदर थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट होता है, वेदर्स को ये भी इफेक्ट करता है. आफ्टर द कंडेंसेशन वाटर हैव टू फॉल ऑन द अर्थ. किस किस की फॉर्म में उनको आना होता है? इन द फॉर्म ऑफ रेन, स्नो, हेल्स, डिजल, आइस प्लेट्स और स्लीट्स. दिस ऑल कॉल्ड प्रिसिपिटेशंस. दैट इज ऑल्सो इफेक्ट द वेदर. Next factor is the wind. What is the wind? Horizontal movement of air is called wind. There are the two types of the movement: vertical movement or the horizontal movement. Vertical movement when anything move up to down or down to up. This is called the vertical movement. And what is the horizontal movement? When anything moves south to east, north to south or south to east. नॉर्थ और ईस्ट टू वेस्ट या फिर वेस्ट टू ईस्ट, दिस इज कॉल्ड द हॉरिजॉन्टल मूवमेंट. सो द हॉरिजॉन्टल मूवमेंट ऑफ एयर व्हेन जब एयर नॉर्थ से साउथ या साउथ से नॉर्थ की तरफ मूवमेंट करती है, दिस इज कॉल्ड द हॉरिजॉन्टल मूवमेंट ऑफ द विंड. इट इज नेम्ड आफ्टर द डायरेक्शन फ्रॉम विच इट कम्स, जहाँ से वो आती है उस डायरेक्शंस के अकॉर्डिंग इस विंड का नेम होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ ए विंड कमिंग फ्रॉम द नॉर्थ देन इट इज नोन एज द नॉर्थर्न विंड, इसको बोलेंगे नॉर्थर्न विंड. इन मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लेस near the ground, the wind speed usually averages from 8 km per hour to 24 km per hour, but during the storm, it leads to very high speed. This wind is also affected the weather of a place. Then next is the weather element, is the atmospheric pressure. What is the atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure is the force due to weight of the air on a given surface divided by the air of that surface. Means जो एयर की वजह से फोर्स लगता है, जो एयर का वेट होता है किसी एक गिवन प्लेस पे, और उसकी वजह से, उसके वेट की वजह से जो फोर्स लगता है किस उसी एरिया में, उस सरफेस पे जिस पे वो है, उस पे जो फोर्स लगता है तो उसे हम डिवाइड करते हैं उस एरिया को. दैट इज नोन एज द एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, we can see this column. In this column there is some airs which have some weight, और जो इसमें नीचे की तरफ फोर्स लगा रही है, जिसके पास कुछ वेट है, वो जो फोर्स लगा रही है, तो उस वेट, उस फोर्स के साथ हम क्या करेंगे, डिवाइड करेंगे इस एरिया को, इस कॉलम के एरिया को हम डिवाइड करेंगे. देन वी फाइंड अप द एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर. Falling pressure usually indicate an approaching storm and rising pressure usually indicate clear skies. If there is falling in atmospheric pressure, then it indicates to storm. And if there is rising in the atmospheric pressure, then it leads to a clear sky. There is an instrument which is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. This is called barometer. What is the barometer? Barometer is a scientific instrument that is used to atmospheric pressure को measure करने में यूज किया जाता है. That is used to measure atmospheric pressure. Thank you. आज हम इतना ही पढ़ेंगे, बाकी कल. Thanks and have a nice day.